Hello everyone and welcome to another Ford... Jesus. Hello everyone and welcome to another Ford Focus Mark 1 in the marketplace. Obviously it's the favourite place to go and have a look at where Mark 1s are lurking in terms of what is available up for grabs, up for sale. In terms of everything else, we've seen quite a few on eBay and Auto Trader, but Facebook Marketplace, like many of us that are on our phones most of the time, well, some of us anyway, Facebook Marketplace is there because we're on Facebook and we just click the marketplace and it's like, oh my goodness me, what is here today? What cars that I've never even thought about buying, why am I looking at that? It's really bad. And you could see some very nice cars that would tempt you, but your wallet will be very cross. This time, I'm going to have a look at what the changes are around what is available in the marketplace of Mark 1 Focuses. I have seen a slight change myself, but I thought I would just dive straight into there with a few adverts as usual. Come on. Right, the first one we have here is a 2004 example, up for £700 near Bristol. Listed about 5 weeks ago. This video is coming out shortly after I film it, don't worry guys. Oh yes, it looks disgustingly dirty, but that's okay, we can deal with dirt. We have, well, as I say, this colour is tonic blue, and it's a very good looking colour on any Mark 1. It looks like an LX for a start. Yes, it is an LX, 100%. Well, the fact that it hasn't got fog lights is always a good giveaway, guys. If it hasn't got fog lights, it's a CL LX, most likely an LX, because they're more common than the CL. And obviously, because it's got a 1.6, it has to be really an LX. Engine runs perfect, no knocking or bangs. Engine drives spot on. Pulls in every gear. Perfect running little car. Interior's perfect, no rips or tears in the seats. All the controls work perfectly. It's got 2 months MOT. Ah, bummer. That's why it's £700 then. Viewing and test drive can be arranged. Why have you... Now, it's got 2 months MOT. Is that why you're getting rid of it? Because there is a problem and it won't pass the MOT? It's got a logbook and 1 key. Well, ideally, you want 2 keys, but that's not a problem. It would just... The problem is, this is buying advice for anyone who has not got a Mark 1, who is looking for one. If there's only 1 key, you're probably going to have to pay someone to come out and reprogram it professionally. You can use Forescan and a few other tools, but ideally you're probably going to have to pay a professional to actually link the key, I'm going blank, link the key to the immobiliser. So you've got the little immobiliser chip in the key, you have to link that to the immobiliser in the car. It's as simple as that. You have to link it together. That will cost somewhat, probably anything between £75 to £150, something like that. But anyway, that's what you need to look out for. Unfortunately, I'm not quite sure. I'd have to look at the MOT history to find out what's wrong, but I've got a feeling that the usual suspects are there. Although it looks rather clean from this angle, and there's nothing obvious that I can see that's a problem, but it might need quite a few things underneath, as usual. Again, you have to try and view these cars when you can. Ooh, okay, this is not far from me. It was listed quite a while ago in Birmingham. £500, 2005 example on a 54 plate. So, yeah, it would have been pre-February. Let's have a look at this. Well, pre-March, I should say. Sorry, I got my words wrong there. 140,000 miles. Front brakes need doing. Pads need doing. Exhaust middle box needs welding or changing. Windscreen is cracked. Dint in the starts first time, no problem with the engine gearbox solid. Bit of MOT left. Again, short MOT for 500 quid. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, that is... That's quite a ding, isn't it? That's quite an accident someone's had. I don't know what's dropped on the car, but it's had some argument with something. That doesn't look good either. That, for me, is what you get at the lower end of the Ford Focus Mark 1 scene. I'll tell you what, this has just come up on my radar. I'll just point you this way. There we go. Panther Black 3-door ST170. Looks very stock, actually. This was up 6 days ago, £1,700. The MOT has been done. It's MOT to next February next year. Someone is listing it on behalf of a friend. It's done 115,000 miles. Service history, V5 is present with the last 7 years. It was off the road from 2020 due to ill health and reasons for sale. Okay, that's a good reason. After sorting a few issues being laid up, it went straight for the MOT with only a few advisories. Bodywork is minimal, few marks, small dents, minimal rust. Interior is very clean and tidy with minimal wear. Starts and runs fine apart from a high clutch biting point. Obviously you need a new clutch then. And gears change on the stiff side. That might be a new cable you need. Clutch doesn't slip or make any noise, may just benefit from new fluid or a clutch replacement down the line. Just because a clutch doesn't slip doesn't mean it doesn't need replacing, so I certainly will go down that line. And certainly the clutch master cylinder, I'll be looking at that straight away since they tend to snap and leak at regular occurrences these days. Only change has been a full exhaust system, HR lowering springs and upgraded M-Tech discs and pads. Well, that's absolutely fine. It's sort of modifications. It's lovely. Overall, clean example with a little work would be really nice. Any genuine interest, get in touch. Wow. Let me just go back. Lovely shots, by the way. I love shots in the countryside. I think it sells a car really nicely. Certainly would do this with my own. Yeah, it looks really good. Sits nicely. There's no bubbling on the arches. This is really clean, actually. Really clean. Where's the dents? Where's the dings? You know, it's good on this side as well. Yeah, a few chips in there. You can spray that mirror cap up. Not a big problem. Looks very nice on the inside. Very nice. Very nice. Very clean. There's nothing wrong with that. That's an absolute bargain. 1,700 for that. Someone is going to have a lovely ST170. I hope somebody buys that. I really do. Well, somebody in the enthusiast community, I really do hope so. And that doesn't get ragged, because at that price point, it could go either way. What a lovely colour. What an amazing car. I really do love looking at this. And I'm biased. Panther Black Mark 1s when they're deeply polished. That's actually not as polished as what it could be. That's the potential with this car. So nice to see one that looks really good for itself. I think I know. Oh, it's another ST170, £1,500 in Stoke-on-Trent. 160,000 kilometres. Long MOT, good. Imperial Butte, obviously. MOT to January, new tyres, smooth gearbox, bulletproof engine. Well, yeah, it's a bit generic. I don't really... When people say bulletproof engine, smooth transmission, I know that. I don't care. I really don't care. As long as there's no problems, I don't need to know about that. All electric window. Do you know what? He's actually listed the spec. I don't like that at all. People know what they're buying with these cars. You don't need to list that. If people want to know, they'll ask in the questions. I don't know. Some rust on the arches and rear doors. It's in good working condition for its age. Some rust on the arches, some scuffs here and there. Feel free to come round if you would like to have a spin. Good grief, you're inviting all the yobbos then. No offence to that one, but... Oh, excuse me a second. Getting all my pop-ups because I'm a very busy person in the Ford Focus Mark 1 scene. Okay, it doesn't look too bad, but there's no close-up shots. I can't really see... That's no good to me. That's a rubbish advert. That is no good. Someone's going to have to view that again, you know, view it anyway, but I can't see anything. Oh, I can see a bit of creeping rust on the bottom of that door. That's it. It's not a particularly good advert because you don't go inside. I like to see engine bay pictures. I like to see people take pictures from underneath the backside. I like to see pictures of this. What does the sill look like from the underside? You know, so you could take a gamble at 1,500, but with a long MOT, it's probably a good deal for an ST170. Well, we've got another 2004, £700, 131,000 miles. Okay, Moondust Silver, 1.6, ULEZ free. Yep, the car has flown through its MOT. It comes with service history full of paperwork. Great. Service history is so important, particularly if you're thinking about selling it on in the future. Belt and cam belt, water pump done at 125,000 miles. Great, so no issues there. Drives on, spot on with no issues. 2 new rear wheel bearings done 2 months ago. Good. It's had a new wiper linkage fitted. Good. It's got full black leather seats. Yeah, I know it's had. Oh, has it? Oh, has it? Really? Well, I can't even say. Ah, lovely. It's got standard leather seats. That's a good plus point. It's got ST170 xenon headlights. Oh my goodness me. Really? Yes, certainly. I'm sorry about the size of these pictures, but he certainly has. That may have taken a little bit of adapting to fit them. Oh, actually, unless some gears got them as standard, possibly not then, actually. I'm a bit, no, actually, it might be original. It was an optional extra, I believe, for some time on the gears. I am the third owner. Servicing and parts have been done by myself. Bodywork is good, but does have the scuff on the driver's rear. Passenger side ball joint needs replacing, and the heater blower only works on number 4. Oh, brilliant. Well, that's a classic. Pollen filter leaking into the motor exercise. You'll probably have to replace the heater motor, the pollen filter, and the heater resistor just to be on the safe side and give it a good dry out, because we know what damage that does. But that's absolutely fine because we know what the problem is. Apart from the bad bits, it's actually a really good car, only selling to due to getting another car. £750, yeah, okay, that actually is quite a reasonably priced car, and that can be turned into something much better. It's nice to see. Nice to get a Mark 1 estate on this video. £400, 2001, 121,000 miles. Oh, spares and repairs. Yeah, failed MOT due to, guess what? Rust. Yeah, okay. I think that's that seems to be a cliche now. Otherwise runs well. Clutch may need doing soon. Well, I wouldn't worry about the clutch. I think I'd worry about the rest of the bodywork. This is precisely why. Oh well, if it's creepy, if it's got that bad, if it's become that visible on the bottom of the front wing, I can see it's all gone there. That could be quite a money pit. Including if you can see it on the outside, I would be worrying about the inner arches incredibly so. That's a shame. That could be turned round for £400. Nobody's losing anything on buying it and then finding out maybe they can't do anything about it, and then they have to move it on. Or even scrap it, unfortunately. Some cars, unfortunately, the main reason I would encourage somebody to scrap a Mark 1 is because of rust, because nobody wants that, and I don't encourage that unless it's, you know, within that person's finances, or if I think that there's a, you know, it's quite a rare car. It's a sad one, but most of the time I would say every car deserves a chance, and it looks clean. This actually looks really clean, sadly, and dent-free on a lot of panels, but sadly they don't all go that way. So that's what £400 might buy you, unfortunately. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, I like a Mark 1 Mondeo. See what I mean? I just get distracted with these things. This is up for 850. 1.8 Z-Tech. No, get off. No, focus Mark 1 video. Excuse me. Until it's loaded. Lovely. Fantastic. Another 2004. Bit of a common theme, really. The late ones tend to be the only ones that are really around. I wonder why. £895. Tonic Blue. 1.6. Long MOT until the 27th of November. Lots of service history in the book. Freshly valeted. Brand new clutch, flywheel and master cylinder just fitted. Thank you very much. That will probably sell the car because of that. That's a lot of work that's been done. Tidy car, £895, cash on collection. No warranty implied or given due to the age of car. I always say that because it's sold as seen. That's what you get with old cars. Yeah, it's nice interior. Yeah, very nice. Nothing scratched. I can't see any damage. Oh, wait a minute. I'm so sorry. I just saw a little scratch there, but I'm being picky. If you can see my mouse on the screen. Yeah, I like to see. So I don't know why there've been bits missing to it, but it doesn't matter. For £895, that's a pretty good car, actually. It depends what it's like underneath. Again, I'm not expecting too much on sub £1,000 Mark 1s at this age, but there are some good ones that come through the nest, and it's nice to see. A 2005 Ford, Ford Gina. Goodness me, I've never heard of a Ford Gina. This must be a one-off, is it? Oh, honestly, people and names. See, that for me, that would slip under the radar actually a little bit. Gaffer tape to that mirror straight away, but and there's been some rust on the corner here. £350, 95,000 miles, 1.6. It's got no MOT, runs and drives, full logbook, crack in the windscreen. Is that the only problem? Well, I don't know. If there's rust there, I'd be suspicious of those areas. There's not many pictures. There's that one, and then there's that one. I can see rust at the bottom of the door, so possibly the sills will be rusty as well if it's got to that stage. Yeah, that's what 350 gets you these days. Move on. Just having a bit of a scroll through. Mostly, I tell you what I find on here mostly, I've typed in Ford Focus Mark 1 in the search box, and I can say now, not many Mark 1s. No. There's a lot of Mark 2s though. I've covered that Focus before. A lot of them are old adverts. I might have to change my search parameters, but it's not easy to find them. We've got another, we've got an ST170 there. I'll just have a look at a few more. Just want to get a balance. Oh, okay. Right, so we've got an automatic, just for a start, £1,000, 2002. Lovely, like my own. What the heck has he done to that glove compartment? What the hell? What's he done to it? I don't know what he's... 53,000 miles, low mileage, no noises, perfect gearbox. Well, that's not news. 2 keys, brilliant. Logbook, good. Full service history, excellent. 2 owners only. Good grief. Well, this looks really good. 3-door as well. What's happened to the glove compartment though? What? I don't know what they've done there. That is weird. Yeah, that's really weird. But at the same time, ignore that. That's a nice car. There's not many details about it, but I think it kind of shows itself quite nicely. And I can't see any corrosion there whatsoever. It's just used, but not overly used. I just love a 3-door. Absolutely beautiful cars. Great example. Hopefully somebody buys it. Quite a long time ago, somebody would have bought it by now. 17 weeks ago. Again, this is an old advert. £670 for 2003 Ford Focus. I'll say pepper red. A bit faded though. I've had this Ford Focus for sale. It's well looked after. 1 owner for 18 years. Drives without fault. Very good on fuel. Leather inside. Oh my goodness me. The photos are rubbish. It's a gear by the look of it. Yeah, well obviously it is because it's got chrome on the tailgate, Andrew. Well that could have something serious wrong with it. It's got the dealer sticker in the window, but it could also be an utter bargain. Another one in Coventry, 650, 2005. I'm going somewhere with this, guys. I'm going somewhere with this. These are rubbish photos. That's a better photo. And, it's got a crash on the front wing. 1.6 petrol, 100,000 miles. Car drives perfectly, no problems or defects. What sort of defects? Ones that you haven't seen. Logbook, very economical car and cheap. If you're looking for a cheap and good car, congratulations, you've already found it. Yeah. Oh, for God's sake! I hate these steering wheel covers. That is actually the most disgusting one I've ever seen. I think you might as well just get those pink frilly ones. They're just, please throw it in the bin. Oh, it's even worse on this angle. Yeah. £650 and the steering wheel cover comes in for free. Again, it could be an absolute... I'll tell you what, actually, I'm going to quote myself here. This sill looks really good. That's the original sill, and that looks really good from this angle. I'm quite pleased he took it from that angle. Don't know about the other side, though, but I can't see much. So, actually, yeah, another good car for not much money. I've had to be a bit more brief with this episode because, quite frankly, and this was quite a deliberate episode, actually, in some respects. I'm trying to find cheap Focuses for less than £1,000 that have got an MOT and actually look in good condition. And there are a few, as we've just seen in this episode, but how good are they when you actually go to view the car? Well, that's a different thing, because people will show you in the adverts what they want to show you, and it could be an absolute basket case. And how many cars have I viewed in the past thinking, actually, this looks like a really good car, to only find that actually it's 20 times worse than what the pictures show. So I would always have that in mind, actually. So on paper, it looks like there are some decent examples for less than £1,000 still, but I cannot imagine that continuing, because actually what this video doesn't show you is I've actually had to stroll through pages and pages and pages of adverts to find all these little examples in this episode. I can't find them. And in fact, as you've seen, some of these adverts have been here ages and they should have been taken down. So there's actually not many Mark 1s around for less than £1,000 that at all, because most of them have actually gone already. There are some bargains to be had still, and you really need to be quick with the bargains, because I've no doubt that maybe one or two of these cars in this video may be just that sort of car, but I think the majority of them are not. And I think that's the one thing you have to be careful of with Mark 1s now, is we're living in this age now where, you know, I don't believe in bangonomics with Mark 1s. We've moved beyond that stage now. It's not appropriate. But the other thing is, there aren't really many examples to choose from at all under £1,000 unless you're willing to put lots and lots of work into them. And I would never recommend that somebody buys a Mark 1 Focus for less than £1,000 unless they are willing, with finances, to go, right, I'm buying it now, but I know I'm going to have to start building the car a little bit back up to get it back to where it could be, potentially, like lots of the better examples out there. So I really wouldn't recommend doing that. What I recommend doing is trying to get £1,500 to £2,000 together and buying a much better Mark 1 in terms of the bodywork, because we don't know if any of these examples were actually that solid at all, really. It's only the pictures that you can go by. And the proof of the pudding is, you could be buying a bargain, but equally you're going into a trap almost, because you don't really want to be buying a very cheap Mark 1 and then finding out you're going to have to spend thousands of pounds on the bodywork, because then you're just going to end up with a scrap car at the end of the day, and you're going to be quite frustrated by the experience. So I think the best advice that I can give to people is to not buy any car under £1,000 unless you really haven't got the money. And if you haven't got the money, I don't see what good is that to you. Because if you haven't got enough money to spend £1,000, then you really haven't got enough money to keep it going for very much longer. And I do hear the stories of, I've got a cheap Mark 1, I bought it for 600, but it's coming to the end of its life. Do I get rid of it, or do I buy another one? Because I could buy another one for a similar price. And my response is, it's the better the devil you know. It's as simple as that. Because all you're doing is you're simply kicking the issue down the road. Just because you haven't got enough money to spend on the car you've got, well, okay, so you sell that car and then you buy another one, but then you buy another one with similar problems, maybe different problems. Because I'm not being funny, but buying a Mark 1 at this age, you're going to have problems. You're going to have different problems. So you could get rid of one and then buy one with different problems. So you're going to be stuck in another 6 to 12 months, probably even less if you're even luckier than that, or maybe a little bit lucky, you may get over 12 months through the next MOT. You're going to be in the same issue. And then, you know, this issue is going to keep spiralling. There's a lot of people that like Mark 1s and have been buying cheap Mark 1s for years, running them into the ground, then buying another one. But what I'm seeing here is you can't keep doing that no more. To those people who keep doing this, you can't do it, because there are no Mark 1s for under £1,000 with less significant issues. So you're going to keep doing it, but you're going to be doing it more regularly, because they all have a lot of problems. So I feel now that in a few years' time, if this trend continues and the numbers start to degrade as usual, i.e. the only examples that really do survive today are already in enthusiast hands and they'll never sell for lock, stock or barrel like me and many other people. Really good examples that could come on the market but are, you know, £2,000 or £3,000 to buy because they're in really good condition. But not many examples below £1,000 because they're all shot, or there's not many left. Or the ones that are left, nobody will touch them because they're project cars. So that's where we are. Budget motoring with Mark 1s doesn't really exist. Well, it does exist for now, but not for much longer. I was saying this 12 months ago, but now it's actually starting to come to fruition. And the evidence is, I have never struggled to find Mark 1s for below £1,000 on Facebook Marketplace, and I have struggled today. So I'm going to leave that with you. If you've got any comments, please put your comments down below. I'm very open to people's opinions. I do see these trends because being in charge of the Ford Focus Mark 1 Preservation Club, I see these trends happening quite a bit. And I think the moment that people start asking the question, is it worth it? I'm thinking you've already made your mind up. And that's something that I've found quite a few times recently. It's not a cheap hobby, this. Cars are not cheap hobby. Old cars are expensive. And when people talk about, I can't afford that or this, I think, yes, it's hard. You know, we live in a really difficult time at the moment. People are struggling to put money, food on the table, and bills. That comes first. Kids, family, bills, food, that comes first. And the car is always the one to get shipped off. All I will say is, if you can't, sell it to somebody who can, because there are many people that want to try and grab a Mark 1 now, because I think people have definitely realised that all the best examples are slowly going and they're already in people's hands. Take care, guys.